Is the My Most Trusted Chrome extension safe to use on top of LinkedIn? Now, the short answer is yes. The long answer as to why, we'll get into that. So, first of all, it's a simple yes because a letter from LinkedIn itself, from LinkedIn customer service, specifically states My Most Trusted is not part of the list of prohibited extensions on our platform. So, we believe that you can use it. Since it's not developed by LinkedIn, we can't guarantee that it's a good tool or that it will work. Fine by me. The point is, LinkedIn says it's not prohibited. So, that's the first thing to understand. Now we're going to get into a little bit more detail because you've got to understand that My Most Trusted is not just one extension. You can use partner versions of My Most Trusted that are not actually My Most Trusted. So there are so many different partners that have white labeled their own Chrome extensions that use the central concept, that each of those is considered a separate extension and completely separate to LinkedIn. So if LinkedIn hypothetically, which they don't, but hypothetically, if they were to say, no, we don't want you using Circle of Trust, well, then the rest of them are still fine, even though they're still very similar. My Most Trusted also knows from a development perspective how they detect Chrome extensions, and we can absolutely assure you that they are not detected. We know how they detect it. That said, even though it's absolutely fine to use them, that said, when you install a Chrome extension, now My Most Trusted is not an automation tool, it is a semi-automation tool. And what I mean by that is if you're disabled or if you are visually impaired or you have an issue with learning, you often use a third-party tool to help you. So if you're hearing impaired, you'll use a third-party tool to help you do certain tools on the web, right? But it doesn't actually replace as an automation tool. That's what My Most Trusted is. It's an assistant in certain areas that will help certain things take place, but it doesn't automate. Also, and that's why this is a little bit complicated, LinkedIn have a massive terms and conditions policy. It's really, 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 really long. And there's a difference between what their terms and conditions are with what the law states. Now, from a legal perspective, having been checked out by lawyers, is this legal? The answer is absolutely 100% yes. And the reason is because it's not an automation tool that scrapes data behind the scenes. It doesn't steal LinkedIn data of all these things like these other automation tools do. Also, from a privacy policy perspective, the data that you have of your trusted connections, of people that you know and trust, belongs to you. It doesn't belong to My Most Trusted or whichever partner version of My Most Trusted that you might happen to be using. So it's really important to know that when you're using a tool like My Most Trusted, you are doing things completely ethically, and that My Most Trusted is not going to sell your data or give it away to the highest bidder. It connects people who you know and trust to each other. And if someone comes along and says, well, I don't believe that you're allowed to have your best friend's email address because you got it from LinkedIn, which is public data anyway, obviously that's nonsensical. So that's how My Most Trusted works. It's a database of people that you know and trust that connects you to people that other people that they know and trust in an authentic, engaging, human to human way. Also, you don't have to use LinkedIn in order to use My Most Trusted. There's a mobile app. It works on Zoom. It works on Google Meet. It works on the MMT website and a whole bunch of other places. Now, that said, there's one thing I do want to mention. While you're using a tool like My Most Trusted, right, you might do a lot more on LinkedIn and your activity on LinkedIn might suddenly spike because you're doing a lot of manual things much faster than you used to be doing it before you installed it. That means it's possible, it's extremely rare, but it is possible that LinkedIn might pop up a message saying, whoa, we think you might be using an automation tool. Click to say that you aren't, blah, 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 blah. And it's fine. Click to say that you're not, and everything will be okay. The important thing to know is don't, I almost want to use a common Australian phrase, take the something out of LinkedIn. Don't do the wrong thing. Let me be politically correct. Don't do the wrong thing, guys. Don't start spamming people and using, and going out on LinkedIn and connecting with people that you don't know. And don't use LinkedIn incorrectly while you happen to be using a tool like My Most Trusted, because then LinkedIn's going to detect the extra bit of activity. And it's going to potentially think you're using an automation tool, even though you aren't. And then sometimes they might blame the extension when it's not actually your fault. So as long as you do things correctly, do them ethically, do them right, work with your trusted connections, you're going to have a life-changing experience with My Most Trusted, and it's completely and utterly okay with the law and with LinkedIn.